no be any say.
So your customer who you cases here. Ubetimi akọ TapTap send app no no create wallet wo so. Enti se rate ne kosora now de sika kogu wallet no. Anase mpo ubetimi atosusu nkakra. Enti abre sem a opeso send sika ba Ghana no. No anse wa send sika na ba Ghana. Anase oba o my Ghana mu a watimi use sika e wo wallet no no. Tie.
And you said to say you use momo Ghana hey no.
Sa pepe. Se see a TapTap send that trainer shim. Kopium United Arab Emirates, Netherlands, and Austria. TapTap sender now.
No.
Hello, this is Lawyer Wisdom of Wise-Smart Solicitors. Join me this and every Friday on OT TV from 8 to 9 p.m. for all your UK immigration matters. I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Very good evening and welcome to your number one Thursday evening show. Time with TapTap Send with yourself and Nana Kwame or say to streaming live on OT Media TV and all our social media platforms. Right. If you've joined me this evening and you haven't heard about TapTap Send this evening, I want to recommend one fantastic product for you that you can use to send money to your loved ones in Africa, especially Ghana, without paying any transfer fee. It's easy, secured, and convenient way of sending money to Africa. And today, everybody is talking about TapTap Send. Everybody is talking about TapTap Send. So if you haven't downloaded it, please just go to Play Store, App Store, and download TapTap Send, and you would definitely love it. Especially with the introduction of TapTap Send wallets. People are just in love with the product. So if you don't have TapTap Send, please, this is one Easter gift that I will give to you. TapTap Send. Or say papa, no. Yo, abusia for TapTap Send Nikita mimu ema mitimi edi this program edi ebro. And inti misrewa bomodia beka TapTap Send abusia no ho na ye nyina ye mbom na ye nyini ne yenye kese. Ene TapTap Send the wallet ababeka eye products ne ho a chese sisi no obia ani age ho pa yenko TapTap Send asuye na yeni omonko twetwe nkomo na yenhwe ne ekoso ewo TapTap Send asuye. Ora Kofi Frimpong oye growth manager Germany UK ena udini juma. Kofi memoajo enwumrei eba jumadie so.
Nana Kwame Joso na mechia yetiefo ne ahwefo nyina soso enwumrei.
Yo, Kofi say ene ye kan eye TapTap Send asuye ya then ena ekoso or TapTap Send asuye that you want us to hear about or you want to talk to us about.
Okay, TapTap enumere de ye be kan fa TapTap one say TapTap Send na Nana Kwame echirem no obi o wa ha bia me sure say we your customer and we really cherish send your trust you say e betimi de usika akofi amount. And no the first and foremost thing you like people trusting us and yeah easy. So be born the password no aside an account at also say oh we dear or mom for music and the bekwa kuma me busu for. And from TapTap Send yeah we yeah Juma Nana Kwame David Louis Honey Child Tess A-Class Daniel obi o kan team ne ho Ghana team ni bia no de pese ka che busu for nyina ne say e do mase but wo hwe me video na wo hwe me background na you can see it's a wallet, it is still the big project that we are working on here in the UK and also trying to roll it out in Europe. And this another kwame kwan the mudi anka wallet update kakra wo ho no can meet me at their tuja.
Which is going to be live in Europe. They've been calling for a very long time now. So talk to us about TapTap Send wallet in Europe.
Okay. Nana Kwame that's pa sisia no UK for no oman di ehwa mo omubusa for product ne buy no so no UK for use no kama ama bibia aye fefefe ewo wallet ne ho. It means we have the green light to launch Europe. Enti Europe no nyame ya adoma yesi ejebo ejanya aba ejan benya duru April all things being equal by April the na yede wallet no aba wo Europe sisi a mete Germany mo future ni bi kama na me hwese ne me sorry a rate no cost ran me de kakra tum enti at least me hu say ye adwuma me wo Germany sisi a but I have the wallet feature me use enti Nana Kwame, somewhere around next week, we will select a few people. Omo aye, you can't say omo upload your ID. That means that they have been KYC verified. Nipa kakra no, you be rolling out amomo. No more see how they will get to use the wallet. Enti no, ye first roll out ni we are now in the following week ni ye roll out ama obia. But pacho so obi wa hana se o Europe anase na busuani bi o Europe on kai no nhye we nso mame senia wallet no asem no the only way a betimi unload the wallet no is through a card. Unfortunately ukita support which is the online banking na untimi enye wallet no because of issues I have with online banking man most of the time obi normal transaction. So sorry, sir, me be use me and Kasame Dofu Jonas asem Jonas tried to say something and Kwame educated him. There are people who do chargebacks and all these things. You know, who Europe unfortunately, or Netherlands are ideal untimi fanye, or Belgium untimi yusu bank contact, or Germany so untimi yusu so forth to load your wallet. You can only use a direct debit card. When I say direct debit card, and I say a credit card, it means a card that has the 16-digit number, either a Visa card or a MasterCard. Tinakwa me posi wa ha ebia questions bi wo ma be bisa betimi bisa na ya answer nsa.
Right, a very quick one. So now, if you are Europe and you are not using a card, which is a debit card, you will not be able to use the wallet. Which is very clear. And also, say obi enye ni account no enye verified. Can you tell us a bit more about a verified account so that people will understand why they cannot have the wallet if the account is not verified?
Okay, so verification is more about, when people start using TapTap Send as a product. In the first few days, before they hit their €1,000, £1,000, we ask for an identity card. Send a ubetimi alenke o picture to the name and also the date of birth or the share app. So it means TapTap Send at that point knows our customer. Baby, I be compliance for be say nipa asumesi emfa say me sister Tilly ubisa say na Tilly e discover TapTap for her. E dey na chese Tilly card no use na ene dia TapTap Send house to be able to provide Tilly ID or the ID ne be okay Tilly ID our uploading your system which is on fido share ehun say Tilly ID authentic. Osaye ID she took a selfie. The selfie that she took matched the image on the ID. It means she did it. And yes, obi na akofa Tilly details and or they acquire sadian. And this show is streamed live on several platforms. Intinya nyoma bebre ni etimika. But ye yakwantufu a ye nyina ete Europe, ete UK, America for so America de minim sesa suban kakra wa. But you so bit me the idea to her no be the on your man. Until we need to verify these things. Until known a man basa na wallet the entire here say we are verified. Send a buyer at least sikano odi tumuno ni aya aware say ni pass mercy where you fully verified. Therefore we can hold whole liability for this person.
Okay. Yeah, but that's it. And do we have any idea that the date of the launch in Europe? Can you give us just a little idea?
Okay, fair idea. fair idea.
Yeah.
Mo share ni mo by between 19 to 25th there na ejanya ba. Bibian sesandia. Bibian sesandia.
Yo, Kofi, Yebeka said, yeah, that's an enumerate or update they are bringing from TapTap as especially when it comes to TapTap Send wallet, which will be launched in Europe this April. We are so grateful for the work that TapTap Send and the management team are doing for the people in the diaspora. We say thank you so much. Kofi.
Thank you very much. Nana Kwame na me de ade sede ba kosobeto anim senia show no ye start here and I'm sure say as time goes on people will come in pacho ya na ode info no afem say Europe for the omobusa ye no ye hwe nim by 19 to 25th de na wallet no edem peche but omonkan hu say you would need a card to be on it. Me da si bebre.
But I say, nyame ya duma say you do a TapTap Send focus section now. Monka bill pay no wasem so kakra enchire because today I was in an office and somebody was asking me that when is TapTap going to launch bill pay, and I asked the person to go into his app. When he go into the app, yes, it was there that he was able to buy credit for the loved one in Ghana. So when we move to the TapTap Send focus section, let's talk about the bill pay. Thank you very much, Kofi, for your time this evening.
Thank you to Nana Kwame and have a pleasant show.
Thank you, and I know you will come back again when it gets to TapTap Send focus section and also in the breakout room. Right, cool. So if you've just joined us, you are live on Time with TapTap Send on OT Media TV this evening. This evening, we are going to talk about financial planning and investment. And we are so fortunate to have a very wonderful man to talk to us this evening. Before I will introduce him, let me go to Teresa for Teresa to give us a quick product knowledge on TapTap Send, especially when it comes to pending transaction. When you are sending money and your money is pending, what do you do? Teresa, before you come, bought a video way. Right after the video, I made it Teresa Bebro. After Teresa, my guest is ready to talk to us this evening. So, producer, please, one video, and after that, I will move on to Teresa.
Funding wallets on TapTap Send. Step 1. Click on Create Ghana Cedi Wallets below when you open the app. Step 2. Enter amount of your choice in Ghana Cedis. Step 3. Click on the Confirm and Fund wallet below to confirm. Step 4. Your wallet has been successfully funded. Step 5. Enter amount of your choice in Ghana Cedis. Step 6. Select or add new recipient. Step 7. Choose wallet as payment method. Step 8. Click on the Pay with Wallet below to confirm. Step 9. Your transaction is successful.
So that is a very simple process how you'll be able to fund your wallet from your bank card to your wallet on your TapTap Send app. Let's move on to Teresa. Teresa, we want you to educate us or tell us a bit more about pending transaction. When I'm sending money through TapTap and the transfer is pending, what do I do? Teresa, we want to hear from you.
Yo, Nana, but I see the I was saying for the moment so aqua a time with TapTap Send. Say you can't issue about pending transfer, so transfer air pendia a day and away. We all know how important your transfers are, and also in TapTap phones is so. I said Daniel Brain Nano, we try to give our customers a speedy service, but in an unfortunate event of delays, always remember, say, we are working with our partners to get the issue resolved as soon as possible. Say transfer air pendia, it can be due to so many issues, but the yedi can say, answer never was a transfer no air pending, na adequate air pending. we have to review the transfer nankasa. Near who the specific reason I must have transfer no pending. And some of the different issues can be a KYC review. A will make it transfer no. Your request is say provide your ID. But a one winty pending and until say yensa account ID no. Yen to me process a transfer no. So in that situation no, or transfer no, it will be pending until say we upload the or ID and with self abano. And say in case say offer customer supporter, you bet you I'm a one who say this is the reason tia or transfer no pending submit it or ID and a selfie. And a transfer pending is this one. It can be technical issues. It could be say your partners are our Ghana no or more face technical issues and no antenna transfer no pending. And another issue can be say ABN Pacono crowd was sending Sikamano no. No wallet no aye full. And into Sikano and to me and Kuguso. Ebasa answer so and my transfer no pending. And it can be also say ABN Pacono can number no and you're active. And also so say Ebasa a bit to me I'm a transfer pending. But I send a bit to me who are the potting no. Or say, offer customer support. Now yet to me, review the exact reason I'm a transfer no pending. Now a better one who saw transfer no pending. So we check it, the status in the app now. It give you the most up-to-date information or clarity about where the transfer no. I do know. And I say transfer pending. Obi baby say sent a bit to me. I cancel transfer no there be once the transfer is pending no, we are unable to cancel because the money has already been transmitted a free and same acco until say you bet to me I resolve the issue no yen to me and cancel. The only exception there be a ID verification no funny the yen transmitted it and it be a bit more cancel at that stage but and just the ID issue that there is no way you bet to me I cancel pending transfer. Into always say transfer pending. The best thing to do is say review the status in the app to find where the stage of the transfer is. And I'll contact the customer support and bet to me I'm more information relating to or pending transfer. And I'll make a pending transfer no.
Yo, Theresa and Enyumre, we want to say a big thank you for the education that you've given on to us about pending transfer on TapTap Send. Thank you, and definitely during the breakout section, we will definitely catch up with you in the breakout room. Theresa, thank you this evening. Theresa is one of our senior customer service team members within the Ghana team, and she's always available to support you. So if you have any issue with your TapTap Send account, during the breakout section, go to the breakout room 1. The customer service team will be there to assist you with all your issues regarding your TapTap Send account. Right. I'll go for a quick ad break. When I come back, my guest is ready. He's going to talk to us about financial planning and investment. So stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Funding wallets on TapTap Send. Step 1. Click on Create Ghana Cedi Wallets below when you open the app. Step 2. Enter amount of your choice in Ghana Cedis. Step 3. Click on the Confirm and Fund wallet below to confirm. Step 4. Your wallet has been successfully funded. Step 5. Enter amount of your choice in Ghana Cedis. Step 6. Select or add new recipient. Step 7. Choose wallet as payment method. Step 8. Click on the Pay with Wallet below to confirm. Step 9. Your transaction is successful.
TapTap Send. Oh, I was my baby, you're from Calabos. The only boss. With oneness. Baby, I will be everywhere I day and everywhere they go. TapTap Send got me covered. Therefore, if you need to send money or transfer money from Europe, from Canada, from USA, from UK, any part in Europe, you can send it through TapTap Send. And guess what? Oceania, they will receive it right here in Ghana and many countries across Africa. So what are you waiting for? Download TapTap Send now on Google Play Store or App Store. When you download, it's so easy to use. Tell your families, tell your loved ones to download TapTap Send. Okay? But also, when I receive my money, the other time I would channel, like my view, hey, you crazy. Download TapTap Send now on Google Play and App Store. TapTap Send. It's secure, convenient, easy, and fast.
The hour is now, the time is now, and now is the time. We are about to hear from my dear brother. My brother is a man of God, actually. He's a man of God. An investor, author, and a life coach. My honorable guest, I actually, in fact, gave him a very late notice, but he said, my brother, I'm willing and happy to share with my fellow Africans when it comes to finance and investment. So this evening, please help me to welcome to the show this evening, Mr. Akin Awolaja. Akin Awolaja. Sir, a very good evening and welcome to the show. I can't hear you, so maybe if you can unmute yourself. Producer, if you can check for me. Hello? Can you hear me? You can hear me.
Hello, I can hear you, Prince. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. I can also hear
Well
you
done.
loud.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all the work that you are doing with TapTap and the services you are rendering. I know that can only get better, and the transparency, because it matters. When there's trust, there's everything on display. So well done for the work that you are doing.
Thank you very much, and also thank you also for accepting our invitation to join us on this show this evening. Mr. Awolaja, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself when you say, yes, I know you're a man of God, you are an author. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm just a normal person like every other person, and one of the things I will say this evening is that we're talking about finance, so I'll focus more on that. In life, we grow, we develop into different things as long as our heart is open for development. On finance, which is what we're going to be talking about tonight, at the age of 17, I had questions in my heart. As somebody, a young man growing up.
Sorry, sir. Helena, please, if you can mute yourself for us, we'll be very grateful. If you can mute yourself for us.
Producer, as a young man growing up, back in Lagos, Nigeria, I had questions on finances. You know, people had money, some people were poor, some people. So in search of knowledge, in search of experience, because one of the things we lack in our community, whether in Africa, whether in the diaspora, is that we don't have people of experience that are willing to share, willing to show you the way, willing to tell you what you need to do. So as a young man, I started that journey. And one of the books that I will always recommend that has helped me throughout my journey as a finance person, as an investor, as a family person, as a business person, is a book titled The Richest Man in Babylon, written by George Clason. That book spells out everything. In my financial journey, I've made mistakes. I've lost money. I've recovered money. And I'm glad that you are doing something like this, because we need to be educated as a people. Going to school is one thing. Being educated is another altogether. And we live in a world where, you have to make things happen. And money is a necessity. So financial education, talking about finance, is so important. So what you are doing is very, very important in our community. We need to be financially educated for us to have economic power and for us to live a meaningful life. Money is needed every day. What you are doing now is costing you money. It's costing you time. It's costing you a lot of stuff. So we need all those things. We need to be educated and we need to be practitioners. There's nothing wrong with us and there is nothing that we cannot do, but we need to first acquire the knowledge. Then we need to put it to practice. Then we have the result. It's a simple process. There's nothing complicated about it, but we need more people to share these things. We need to encourage our people. And what you are doing in TapTap, you are providing a service. And when you provide a service or a good, money comes in. And that is how everything works. Needs are being met. People are being employed. You were talking about somebody in Ghana. So you have, connections everywhere. And that is how the whole world works. But we need to be open about these things. We need to have men and women of experience that can share with others so that the next generation coming up, we won't just come out and we won't say that we don't know anything about money. We need to know about finances. We need to plan and we need to make an impact in the world. There's nothing wrong with us. We just need to be educated and put all these things into practice.
We just need to be educated and put it into practice. So we will just move straight into the topic for tonight. And I will first ask, we all came looking for greener pasture. We are working hard, saving money, building back home, putting money in the bank. But is that enough? My question this evening is, how does one go into investment?
What I'll first say, I'll tell you about myself. I came to the UK with 20 pounds in my pocket. So I didn't come with money, but I came with knowledge and I came with a little bit of experience about, providing goods and services. And one of the things you have to know is, before we even talk about investment, you have to sort out yourself as an individual. You have to be financially stable, financially okay. It's like somebody who can't take care of himself as a man and say you want to get married. How are you going to take care of the wife and the children? So investment is something we do later on when we are financially stable. And that's where financial planning comes in. You have to first be stable as a person. You have to have a job or a business that gives you money, regular income. Based on the regular income, you cannot tell yourself, okay, how much do I need to spend? Now, there is a structure that I always suggest to people, which is 70% of your income, 60 to 70% should cater for your expenses. Let's say 70%. You have 10% for generosity. That means you give to a charity, you give to a church, or you give to something you believe in. Then you have 10% for savings. You must save. You must save money. There is no two way about it. Then 10% goes into investment. But the first thing is you must have income coming in. Then lifestyle-wise, you can't, when you spend more than what you earn, that's trouble. You are looking for trouble. There's no way you'll be stable. So investment happens later on when we are first financially stable. That means you can pay your rent, you can take care of yourself. Then you are telling yourself, I'm not going to eat with my 10 fingers. That means everything I earn is not everything I spend. I must have discipline. When we talk about investment, there's a behaviors aspect of investment that you need to have, psychological aspect of investment that you need to have. So a lot of people don't work on themselves first and they go into investment and say it's not working. Or they look for a get-rich-quick scheme. It doesn't work that way. Investment is long-term. But first of all, let us settle ourselves first. Let us put things in order. Let us be financially stable. That means you have a job. You can take care of your daily expenses. Then out of your lifestyle, you can say to yourself, I'm not going to spend everything that I earn. Like I told you, I came to the UK with 20 pounds in my pocket, but by the grace of God, we have gone beyond that many, many, many times over. So it starts with us as individuals before we start talking about investment. You need to plan your life first before you start talking about investment.
You need to plan your life, sort yourself, sort your finances before you start talking about investment. You came to the UK with £20. Today, you are an investor. Walk us through what you did with that £20, what you have invested in, and what are you doing now that you call yourself as an investor?
Okay. The first thing I'll tell you is that the first job I did in this country has to do with a laboring job, because like I told you, it has to be, you have to have a mindset and an understanding that money needs to come in. So you have to provide goods or services in exchange for people to give you money. Now, based on what you earn, you can now decide to say, how much am I going to spend? Now, I bought my first house in my 20s based on the understanding that I have. It took me time because from what you earn, you save money. You must save money. There's no two way about it. You must save money every time you earn money, at least 10%. You must put it aside. I spoke to someone many years ago. Somebody told me, I don't know where my money goes. So I understood that the person wasn't financially disciplined. That's part of the financial behavior we are talking about. You need financial habits. So I told the person, I said, do you know what? Go to the bank, tell them you want to open an account. That account is going to be fixed for 12 months. You are not going to be able to touch the money, but you'll be able to put money there and set up a direct debit. The person was shocked at the end of 12 months how much they had in the bank, because money was going in and it was growing. So it starts with you first working, then knowing how much you are going to spend. At least 70% must go for your essentials. Then 30% out of the 30%, you have your savings, and you build up savings over time. Then you have investment being built up over time. 10% for investment, 10% for generosity, 10% for savings, 70% for expenses. Then it grows. If you understand farming, and I'll use farming as an example, if you plant a cocoa seed, it's going to take 3 to 4 years for you to get anything from that cocoa, but it's going to serve you for 20 to 30 years. So you can't go and plant the seed that you need to eat. It's not going to work. You plant the seed that you don't need for you to allow it to grow and for it to generate results for you. So I invest in properties. I'm a real estate investor. At the same time, I invest in stocks and shares, and which is open to anyone. But the thing with stocks and shares is that you can invest as little as you have. When it comes to real estate, you need money. You need real money, and sometimes you need the bank to work with the bank for you to buy whatever it is that you need to buy, because you need money to do that. But with stocks and shares, you can start with as little as you have.
With stocks and shares, you can start as little as you have. We will go into stocks and shares. I know with real estate, you need real money. Living in the UK, when it comes to real estate, it's quite similar in the UK, in Africa, in the US. Tell us a little bit about real estate investment. How can one go into real estate investment?
I would say, like I've said before, first take care of your finances at home. Because with real estate, the first thing you want to do is buy a place to live for yourself, where you need to live. Now, in buying a place, which is most of the time people go through a mortgage, and with a mortgage, your income will be considered. How much do you earn? Can you afford it? I'll always tell people, if you can't pay your rent and you default in paying rent, please don't go for a mortgage, because you are going to default and the bank will repossess the property. It does not make sense. So you have to have your finances in order. So the first thing you want to do is, it goes back to the things we've been saying. You must save money to have a deposit for the property you want to buy. Number two, you can't just leave. You have to find a place where your money will work for you. Now, if you are living in some specific area, you may not be able to buy a property there because they're expensive. So you move to a location where your money can work for you. and buy a property that you will be able to pay the mortgage without sweating. You know, some people live in their house and they are sweating. They are struggling. When they work, majority of their money goes into payment. You don't want to be like that. You want to be able to pay your mortgage conveniently. So start with the place that you are going to live first. Then after, you can now start investing. Now, everything we've been saying still goes back to you. It starts with you. Sort out yourself first before going into other things. So once you are used to paying mortgages regularly and you have an exit plan, then things can work for you. But it's it's over a period of time. So you have to invest wisely.
You have to invest wisely. Let's talk about stocks and shares. If I want to invest in stocks and shares, what do I need to know? Where do I start from? Where do I go?
Okay, with stocks and shares, there's so many information out there. One of the things I would say is that you need to get yourself educated. The first thing you want to do is get information. Most of us, we have iPhones. It's either we're using Samsung or using iPhone, or, we buy products from Pfizer. There's a lot of things. We eat McDonald's, we buy from Coca-Cola. We eat or buy those products, but we don't have any income coming from there. And that is the reason you want to invest in stocks and shares. When you invest in stocks and shares of a company like Coca-Cola has been here for years, you get a bit back. And getting a bit back, it builds you up over time. We use Microsoft products, but you don't get money from Microsoft. You want to invest in Microsoft. So there's something called ETF. There's something called mutual funds. There's something called index funds. So you want to investigate and learn how this thing goes. There are baskets of companies. I'll use an example. We have the S&P 500 in America. Those are the top 500 companies in America that you can invest in. The beautiful thing about the S&P 500 is that it gives you at least a minimum of 10% that you make on an annual basis, 10%, and you are buying into the 5 largest companies in North America. That means that, there's diversification. The S&P 500 has been running for years. So you have a track record. Your money will work for you over a period of time. Like I've said before, you need to sort out yourself first. If you are going to invest money, it is money that, one, you don't need, money that you can forget, money that if you lose it, it doesn't change your life, money that will work for you, money that you can allow compound interest to multiply for you. Now, those are the 5 factors. So investment is not, I'm going to put the money in today, I need it tomorrow. No, it's a long time. We're talking about 7 years. We're talking about 10 years. We're talking about 20 years. Then compound interest will work for you. So it takes a lot of education. Then we'll now take the risk and know that it's going to pay off at the end of the day.
It takes a lot of education. How will one know whether this company is doing well? So I need to buy stocks and shares in. Walk us through that bit. How would I know which company is doing well? So I will decide to.
You've been drinking Coca-Cola for a long time.
Since childhood.
So is Coca-Cola doing well? McDonald's has been here for a long time. So those are companies. We have Amazon that deliver products. They do things. It's been here for a long time. We have Microsoft. You use Google to do your stuff. These are companies we're talking about. Companies that provides goods and services and makes life better for people. Tesla is there. There's a lot of companies, and that is why our people, we need to be educated. We need to find out. Not just because I'm saying something. Go and dig out the information yourself. Now, there's another thing I'm going to chip in. There are tax wrappers. In every country, at least civilized country, you have tax wrappers where the government would encourage people to save money. Instance, for the UK, you have something like ISA, individual savings account. Now, with ISA, as an adult, you are given a 20,000 allowance that the government will not tax. So if you have 20,000 that you can invest, you have ISA stocks and shares that you can invest into the market over a period of time, that money is going to grow because that's what investment is all about, is long term. Now, when it grows, I'll give you an example. Now, in the UK, if you have 20,000 that you consistently invest into the market, in 18 years, you'll be a cash millionaire in the UK. Even if you don't have 20,000, start with something and do it consistently over a period of time. Now, in the UK, you have, the self-investor, private pension as well. For every £1 you put into your pension, the UK government will give you 20%. Free money. Free money. The only clause is that you can't take the money out until you are 55 years old. This is another way. That is why I've said before, and I will say it again, our people will need to be educated. There are things around us, there are things in front of us that we can take advantage of, but we need to know about them, and we need to dive in. Not just to talk about investment, we need to dive in and be practitioners.
We need to dive in and to be practitioners. I think last week we had another guest who was also talking a bit more about ISA, and there are various types. Can you walk us through ISA? Because it looks like it is an area that people need a bit more information on and dive into it. Tell us a bit more about ISA, the different types, which companies are providing those services. Is it only the banks? And where do we go when it comes to ISA?
I know there are 4 types, but I'll major only on 2. And those are the 2 that are common to people. You have the cash ISA, which you put into the bank. The bank offers that as well. And you have the stocks and shares. Those are the 2 I'm going to, but there are 4 in number. Now, with the bank would give you next to nothing when you put your money there. In fact, Prince, the last place you want to put your money is the bank. Because the money, they decide the interest that they are going to give to you at the end of the day. So, but when we do the stocks and shares, which is, like I said, if you're an adult, you have an allowance of 20,000 a year. Then if you have children, if they are under 18, they have 9,000 allowance. Now, when we say allowance, it means the government will not tax both the profit, because the money has been taxed already. You are using, money that has been taxed for investment. So you want to use the stocks and shares one and leave it for over a period of time. Because with investing, one of the key things we have to know is time. Now, if you give birth to a child and you open an ISA account for that child when the child was born, I can tell you, and you start putting money in regularly, by the time the child is 18, the child will have solid amounts in the account just because you've taken that step. So that's the reason we need to start with education first. We need to be educated first, financially. Then we introduce it to our children. Our children understand how money works, because we need money. Money is a necessity. To live on this earth, you need money. Every day you spend money. You eat, transportation, shelter, clothing. Every day you need money. So it's not one is being money conscious. One knows that money is a necessity and you need to have it. And when you have it, then life is different. And when you have more, you can do more for others. You can help others. You can support causes. So it's a very important subject that we need to pay attention to.
It's a very important subject that we need to pay attention to. People are listening to us all the way in America, Europe, Africa. Before we take questions, generally, what would you say to somebody who is listening to us this evening when it comes to financial planning and investment?
What I would say is plan your life first. How much do you earn? It starts with your income. Now, with income, I'll say this, Prince, in the world we live in, society needs every skill. That means society needs the cleaner, the dentist, the doctors, the businessman. Society needs all the skills for it to function. But one thing we don't emphasize a lot is that the marketplace does not pay everybody equally. So in as much as we need cleaners, the marketplace will not pay the cleaner the same wage is paying the dentist because, the skills are different. So it starts with what type of job or what type of services or business are we doing? Because the marketplace will pay you based on the value. Now, if you have more money, you can invest more. If you have little money, yes, you can still make it, but it's going to take you some time. So it starts with what type of goods or services are we providing to the society? Because the marketplace doesn't reward all of us equally. Now, based on what you have as an income, okay, you will have all these football stars. They play football. Now they get paid millions. Now you see somebody that is pushing truck and using all the strength and everything. The marketplace doesn't pay them the same thing. And that is how life works. Somebody say it's not fair, but that is how life works. Now, based on what you do, you get an income. That based on that income, it goes back to what I've said before. You start planning from there. 70% max on all your expenses. Then you are able to save. You are able to allocate 10% for generosity to give to others, then 10% for investment. And that is where financial planning starts from. First starts with you before we start talking about investment. Investment is money you don't need that you can now put away to work for you. You can't invest the money you need. When you need, you go and pull it out and it won't work. It's like putting the seed in the ground that you need to eat. You're going to go and pull the seed out to cook and eat. An hungry man has to eat.
and a hungry man needs to eat. He has to eat.
Yeah.
Okay. I will go for a quick commercial break. When I come back, I will open the floor for questions from the audience this evening. And thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you so much. All right.
Yes.
My lovely people, I'm going for a quick ad break. When I come back, it will be your time for you to also ask questions. Thank you.
Mr. Mankwa, me offer was any scabania dear any project. As to the be a me offer sick a man your problem.
Enemremu. Namonte TapTap sending ka.
No so nedia.
TapTap send ye easy, fast and secured way. Ubetimi send this free amanone. Aba Ghana bank account and as a mobile money account. Untia transfer fee via.
Sir, I will buy any say.
Chine say one call App Store na Play Store. On download the TapTap send app no. Or download ya. Ebebu sanso promo code. Oma the pet TV shim. Obenya €5, £5, and answer $10 on his first transfer.
And you make quack friend a catch them.
Tabi minyanwe. Esanse TapTap send at the good news aba. TapTap send the the customers won't or the TapTap send wallet aba.
I know about any say.
So your customer who you cases here. Ubet me a call TapTap send app no create wallet also. And it is a rate in the cost now the Sikako go wallet no. And I say, Pobet me to Susun kakra. And Tiabre Sema, Opes send this Sikaba Ghana. No answer was send this Sikana Bagana. And I say, Oba my Ghana mua. What in here you Susika or wallet no. Tia.
And you said to say you sumo Ghana Haydu.
Sa pepe. Says here TapTap send that Renashim. Copium were United Arab Emirates, Netherlands, and Austria. TapTap send now. Papa no.
Welcome back to your show, Time with TapTap Send with yourself and Nana Kwame Osei. Today, my guest is my own brother, my lovely friend, Mr. Akin. Mr. Akin, welcome back once again. So today we are talking about financial planning and investment, and Mr. Akin has done a very wonderful presentation this evening. And this is your time. Also, Wasembi Busa and then Enumeria Ubitimi Edo question about when it comes to financial planning and also investment. And my guest is more than happy to take all your questions. And then you raise our question be about the Yaka Huasem Sabria Bacho Equina Honomo. Oma also on the Zoom, raise your hands on the Zoom and I'll pick you and you ask your question. So I will start with my dear sister Tilly. Tilly, thank you for joining us once again and welcome. Unmute yourself and ask your question, Tilly.
Thank you and good evening. Thank you, Mr. Hakim, for the presentation. I was listening to you. You did mention about getting your financial stable. Most of the time, that's not the case. You know how bills are. You pay a lot of things. At the end of the month, there is, you don't even have anything. It's like you are living from hand to mouth. How would you advise someone who is struggling to save? Like you said, everyone income is different. To recommend either an ISA or any other place that you can invest, the lowest that you can invest. Is there any distance that you can recommend? The word is not coming. How can you recommend someone, at least if you have £1, you have £2, the little you can save, in this ISA or in this place? Is there anything of that sort that you can advise us? Thank you.
Okay, Tilly, I'm going to say something. I hope you won't get offended. No. And I hope you understand the heart at which I'm speaking. You see, there is no time that everything will be okay for us. That means that we won't have perfect season. It means that we need to make changes. Now, if we are waiting for things to just change, it will not change. Like I told you, I came to this country with £20. And one of the things that has helped me is growth and development. Sometimes you need to change your job. If the job is not paying you well, you need to change it. Sometimes you need to I've done 3 jobs in this country before. So it's how much do you want to change? What do you want to change? Why do you want to change? What is the reason behind it? So I'm dealing with the income side of things. So you might want to go for a professional course. You might want to do a course or change what you are doing. In IT now, because of the AI that is coming, IT is a hot place for you to work. You might learn something different and go into IT to improve your income. Now, when it comes to health as well, health is a major thing. The business is always booming. Even during COVID, it was on. You might want to change and say, okay, how do I find myself in the health sector? You might want to do a course to improve and change. All the things we want is not going to happen in one place. We need to move. So that is the income side of things. You might need to change profession, learn new things, acquire new skills for you to get more money. But if we keep on doing the same thing and not changing, our income might not change. That's number one. The number 2 thing you want to do is we all get bills. Like I said, money is a necessity. You pay for light, you pay for, clothes, transportation, all this thing will happen. Now, the person who is a cleaner and the person who works in the office and the person who is a sports person, we all go through the same inflation. It's not going to be different from one person to another. It's the same. But how do you now change? Sometimes we need to look at our expenses. What exactly do I need? The first thing I tell people is your essentials. What do you need? Not what do you want, not what do you desire. So check your line item of what you buy in the house. There are things that you don't need that you need to cancel. There are things that you don't use. There are clothes that you have in the house that you don't use that you can sell. There are things that you might have bought in the house that is just sitting there that you can sell on eBay and raise money. With ISA, you need about £100 to start or 500 as a lump sum. But what I'm saying is that inside your house, there are things that you can sell to raise money. You can get people to train you. Somebody that is into IT, just tell the person, I want to change my profession. We have to learn. We have to change our own situation. Let us change our life, then we will change our world. But it starts with us being proactive. If we are waiting for things to get better, it won't get better. we need to move, we need to do something. I've done different types of jobs in my life. I've done different types of things in my life. So it's a journey, it's not a destination. So that £1, I'm not belittling £1, I'm not belittling £1. I want to tell you, Tilly, you can do better than that. But it will take you moving yourself for things to move for you.
Thank you.
I hope that makes sense and that helps.
It does. Yeah, it does. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you to Tilly. Abusiafo Sabre mene Dr. Mr. Akin and Edwin Komo on financial planning and investment. So if you have any question, just raise your hands and he will be more than happy to answer your question. Let's move on to iPhone. iPhone, please unmute yourself and ask your question. iPhone, please unmute yourself. Nabusa our question. Right. Whilst we are waiting for iPhone to unmute him or herself, you also, Mr. Akin, you also spoke about private pension. Can you tell us a bit more? Because most of us, we only depend on government pension. So we wait until our retirement, then we will wait for us to be paid by the government through our pension. But there are other private pension schemes that we can look into. It. Tell us a bit more about private pension.
For the UK, I'll mention the UK. I know it exists in America as well. Now, the one in the UK is SIPPP, self-invested private pension. You can open that as well. And for every £1 that you invest, the government, because the government encourages people to save, and part of the incentive is they will give you 20% for every £1. So, and one of the things I've not mentioned, which I'll mention now, is that we have brokers. You did ask a question earlier on, Prince. It's not just the bank that does ISA. We have brokers like Vanguard, Fidelity, Charles Schwab's, AJ Bell's, Trading 122. This is where I have mentioned that we need to educate ourselves. It's not just about somebody spoon-feeding you with information. You need to go and find out things, do your research, because when you are convinced, you will invest. It's not somebody just telling you, you found that information, you understand it, it makes sense to you, then you will invest. So we have other platform brokers that you can, invest through, and you can open a SIP account with them. You can open an ISA account with them. So it's not just limited to the big banks. There are other brokers as well. So with the private pension, one of the things that we need to do, Prince, is that the earlier we start talking about this, the better. A normal working life is 40 years. Somebody who started working has 40 years. Now you can go beyond that. Now, for somebody who has started investing in their 20s, I can tell you 40 years of investment, they are sorted by the time it's retirement. They are not waiting for the government. This is not the government pension. This is their own personal money working for them. And we must encourage that within our community. That £20, that £50, that £100. And like I said, you want to work in your early years. You don't want to be running around when you're old. So, and that is why the profession or the course we do, going to university, doing a trade, it must be relevant. The market must value it to pay us good money. We just can't do anything. We can't just do any type of work. We have to do the type of work or provide the goods and services that the market values and will pay us good money. And when you have good money, you can make good things happen for you.
When you have good money, you can make good things happen for you. All right, let's go back to iPhone. iPhone, please unmute yourself and ask your question. If iPhone is not ready, let's pick Tilly. Tilly, you can ask another question.
Hello,
Unmute
Mr.
yourself.
Hakim. Yeah, it's Akin. Yeah, sorry, I got the name wrong.
That's fine. That's fine.
I want to ask another question. You mentioned about 2 ISAs. You said there are 4 ISAs.
Yes.
But you mentioned 2 of them: the cash ISA and the stock and share. Are these ISAs with bank alone? I know the banks have these ISAs. is there any, outside the banks, is there any other providers of this ISA that you can recommend that is better than the bank? Or no, I just want to know.
I just mentioned that a minute ago. If you go online, you have brokers. You have brokers. There's a company called Vanguard. You have Fidelity. You have Charles Schwab's. You have Hargreaves. You have Trading 212. What I would suggest you do is go online.
Okay.
And just type in the exact question you've asked me. You are going to get series of brokers. I want you to go through them, be okay, because I'm not a financial advisor. So I want you to go through them in detail, and you will now see the ones that you are comfortable with, and they are providers as well. Now, on those platforms, that is where you are going to start seeing like the S&P 500. They are the top 500 companies in America that you can start investing in. Like I told Prince, we drink Coca-Cola, but do we get anything from Coca-Cola? We use Microsoft Office, but do we get paid for it? We don't. We use iPhone, but we should be getting part of it. That is what investment is all about. We use product from Pfizer. We're not getting anything from Pfizer. We use Google every day. We use Alphabet every day, but we're not getting anything back. People are into buying electric vehicles, but they are not being paid. Investment in all those companies will get you dividends, and we do it over time. Coca-Cola has been here for years. Apple has been here for years. Microsoft has been here for years. These are the companies that will make you rich. These are the companies that, you are not the one. I'm not the one running Google, but I'm a product. I'm getting something from Google. I'm not running Apple, but I'm getting something from Apple. I'm not running Microsoft, but I'm getting, just because I've invested in those companies. And that's what we need to do. So you don't have to own a business to invest in businesses.
You don't have to own business to invest in businesses. Let's pick Liz. Liz, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Akin. My question is kind of two. But before I come to you, Nana, Repacho, with me the two just say, oh, be beside question go tree, and I will watch you say, oh, bro, for him, says, no, my questions and about.
You, Mati.
So, Mr. Akin, my question is, the 500 top investment that we can invest, what is the question that we should put into Google to find them? And the second question is, how would we know that we are not being scam or fraud? Our people, we are very careful. We are scared of the fraudsters. So how can we make sure that what we are doing is the right thing and not going somewhere that we don't want our money to go?
Okay. I've mentioned education. The first thing I keep mentioning is financial education. You need to be well educated about this. And, it starts from there. You want to understand what you are putting your money and where you are putting your money into. You want to, for the 500 companies in America, North America, what you want to type in on the internet is S&P, S, Standard & Poor, S&P 500. It's going to give you information about the top 500 companies in North America. And you will see those companies listed out. You will know these are not companies that will take your money and run with it. No, we're talking about, you're talking about Apple. Apple is the number one company in the world. You need to study, their statement and see how much money Apple has. Apple as a company has more money than some countries. So they are not the kind that would take your money or run with your money. So you want to find out about those things. And that is why I've emphasized financial literacy. Get to know those things. Now, Coca-Cola has been running for years. McDonald's has been here for years. They are not going to run. They don't need your money. It's you that really needs them, because they are making your money work for you. So what they've done is that they've opened up, the opportunity for us to invest. you've asked a very valid question, and that is trust, which TapTap 2 is talking about transparency, which is important. People want to trust you. If people trust you, they will hand over their resources. So we are not talking about companies that you don't know their word. You know them as a name. So those are the things that you are going to see. But like I've emphasized, please get yourself educated first before you put your money there. You must understand why you're putting your money where you're putting your money. And it's not, I put my money in today, I expect profit tomorrow. It's a long term. That is why you invest the money you don't need. And the money you don't need will provide for you tomorrow.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
You invest the money that you don't need. And also you said at least we should save about 10% of our income, at least 10% of our income. And you provide the money that we need to enjoy. Right, for mini Akin and Akin when it comes to financial planning and investment. So any question be to me at the Abba. Can it be my direct translation at the amount? Na wetimi ya no at the amount. Benis, please unmute yourself now for a question, bro. Benis, we want to hear you. Benis, please unmute yourself.
Me question is my remun temodie. But I'm person me who say oh apple ini adie. Se me den makora mu say bia Apple company maba me person me kra 10 pound me person me invest. Send me start if my remun tenti me pacho anything na ma me bisa.
No worries. Right. Again, she is asking, you spoke about the S&P 500 companies in America. As an example, if one wants to invest in Apple, Coca-Cola, name them. How can we start? Where do we start from? Where do we start
from? The reason I would suggest that, people do their findings on the S&P 500, I will tell you the reason. Number one, you are not investing in a single organization, because if something happens to that organization, it will affect you. Now, the S&P 500 is the top 500 companies in America. And, every company wants to do well. They want to make profit. So they're all striving and working hard for excellence and to do better and to create. Tesla is amongst them. So you want to find out something like that for one reason. Number one, for diversification. So you are not just investing your money in one company. You have 500 companies that are giving you something from their company. That's one. Number two, based on performance. If a company doesn't do well, they go off that list and you get another company that is doing well to replace them. So it's all about they are trying to improve. So the money will work for you. Then we are talking about longevity. So these companies have been there for a long time, a very long time. So it's safe. Because if you are going to invest, you want to make sure you don't lose your money. So that's where education comes in. The security of your money matters. So we're investing in companies that have been there a long time and they are still producing till tomorrow. But like I said, people should go online and type in S&P 500, get to understand what the S&P 500 is all about. Number two, they are brokers. Apart from banks, how can I open an ISA account through a broker? I will give you a list of brokers. I've mentioned a few tonight. So, but people should go online to get themselves educated. There is nothing like understanding. When you understand something, you are convinced and you will do it. The reason some of us are not practitioners is because we lack the understanding of what we want to do and where we want to put our money. But when understanding comes, nobody will convince you. You are self-convinced.
When the understanding comes, nobody will convince you. You will be self-convinced. Still with me this evening on the show is Mr. Akin, talking about financial planning and investment. Oh, question be a ebusana, Sabri any umre ubetimi edo question aba, metimi achichimu kakra the amount or cobra fumunso me translate the amount. So we question be so there and there yebefa and cratonia wrap it up near moving on to TapTap Send Focus section. If there are no any other questions, then we will wrap up and move on to TapTap Send Focus section. iPhone is back. iPhone want to invest in iPhone. iPhone, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Hello, Mr. iPhone.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, my name is Bright actually. Okay, yeah. My question is that is it advisable for somebody in UK or somewhere within the Europe to invest or start some business back in his or her country, like Ghana or Nigeria? So is it advisable? Because recently it is hard to trust people back in your country. So how are you going to give or find somebody there to manage your company whilst you are in UK or America or somewhere? Is it advisable?
Mr. iPhone, I will tell you something. This is a very sensitive thing, and but like I said, I'm going to answer you in a very direct way. The number one thing you want to do, which I've said earlier on, is you want to first ensure that you are stable where you are. So if you are in the States, if you are in America or you're in UK or you're in any part of Europe, are you okay by yourself? Are you financially stable? If you are not, it doesn't make sense. That's number one. So you must be okay where you are. There's no point sending money. You are hungry and you now want to send money home. It doesn't make sense. So first, be okay where you are. You are stable. Things are working for you. The second thing I will say is this. We're talking about investing. When it comes to investing, you want to be in control. When you invest back home, there's so much dependency on the people back home. You are not in control. For you to get to Ghana, you have to travel. To get to Nigeria, you have to first travel to go and see them. You are not there. You don't live there. You don't see what they do. So you are out of control. So, and when you get there, sometimes, like you said, the issue of trust and, some people don't understand the way people work here and things like that. Personally, I would tell you not to invest. That's me as a person. I would tell you to put your money in stocks and shares because we have organizations that have been running for years. They are being regulated. You are not depending on one person or another to run your money. At the same time, your peace of mind and your health. You don't want to be shouting on the phone, calling this, I've been done this, I've been done that. Now, is that saying that we should not patronize our country? No. But the people back home should understand something, that the people in the diaspora, they are not picking money from the floor. So trust must be established. Trust must be established, and they must run things well if they want people to pump money into the economy, because there's a lot of stories, a lot of disappointment. But I will tell you something: keep your money where you are, invest where you are, invest where you have control, invest in things that can work for you. Don't say because you are from Africa, you need to put your money in Africa. No, it doesn't work that way. We are being sentimental if we do that. But if we are business minded, you will keep your money where your mouth is.
Right. Let's pick Frank and we will wrap up this section and followed by the TapTap Send Focus section. So Frank, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Frank,
thank you very much. Mr. Akin, I just want to ask one simple question. With this SM500 that you are talking about, if someone living in Ghana or Nigeria, do they have the access to invest in them as well, please?
You can find out. You need to find out. But one of the things I've come to see is that those brokers, they choose countries. that they establish their organization in. But most of the time, Africans don't have access to this market. We're talking about having access to the American market. We don't have access. So sometimes, I saw one some time ago, but the issue of trust came up as well. I won't mention the country. There was a platform, that was trying to connect people in Africa to America, but there was an issue of trust, because if you go through a broker, you don't want somebody to run away with your money, and there are stories at the end of the day. But most of the time, from what I've searched and discovered, these markets are limited. So Africans in Africa don't have access. I don't know about South Africa, because there might be, I don't know about South Africa, but Africa in general, not, we don't have access to this market. So it's people in Europe and the Americas and, Asia, some part of Asia that have access to these markets. But I wouldn't stop at, because I've said so, I would say, please investigate, find out. I don't know it all. And I keep searching as well. But I know to the level that the market is not open as much as that to Africans. But find out, please. Thank you.
No, Pacho, me maybe a question back on Pacho.
Yeah, quickly, so that we will bring this session to a close.
Okay,
right.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead. Okay,
all right. If you have a mortgage and you have money, you want to reduce. I mean, like, let's say if you have 60,000 left for you to pay, and you have about 5,000, will you advise such a person to invest the money, or to give that money to just reduce the mortgage, how much is left to pay?
Okay. With the mortgage, what I will tell you is that you don't own the house until it's fully paid.
Yes.
So you have to understand that. So what you want to do is you want to pay off your mortgage as soon as
possible. Yes.
Because when you pay off your mortgage, that money that goes into your mortgage can be fully invested.
Okay.
You understand? The most expensive thing we pay for is housing. So if you now have your housing sorted out, that money you can invest regularly. And the earlier you pay your mortgage, the less interest you pay as well. So all these things, we have to understand it. And that's a very good question, because a lot of people go into getting a mortgage, they don't think about how quick can I pay off this thing, because the banks will make money on interest. So the longer it takes you, the more money you pay, and you still have the risk, because you are just a babysitter for the mortgage, for the bank, until the house is fully paid.
Okay. So will you advise such a person to wait, like if you have 5,000, or you can give extra 1,000, if you have 500, you give?
The more you pay, the more, even if you have £100, and you keep on adding it to your payment every month, not only will you reduce the years, it will reduce the interest you are paying, because you are reducing it as time goes on. And you want to do that intentionally, so that you get out of that and you know that your house is your house. It's not that you are waiting for the bank. And because we are human beings and we live in a world that is not perfect, we don't know what will happen tomorrow. For instance, look at what happened during COVID. Nobody saw COVID coming. Look at what is happening to the interest rate now. When you've paid off your mortgage, you don't have any interest rate to worry about.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you so much, Akin, for joining us this evening, sharing your experience, your knowledge with us. Before you go, what will be your last words that you leave with us?
Thank you so much, Prince, for having me, and thank you for the beautiful people. I would encourage people to get financially, educated. Like I said, when understanding comes on a subject matter, nobody will convince you. You will be self-convinced. And when you self-convince, you will invest. Our people must be educated. Must be practitioners of the things that they have learned. Then we'll make money. We'll make money. We'll live well. Everybody doesn't live the same. Our worlds are different because of what we know and what we do. And that changes who we are. So please get financially educated, and don't be afraid to venture, and you will see that, wow, there's a different world out there. You can live well, you can live a meaningful life, you can have a different experience. So please get educated and become a practitioner. That's my last word.
Get educated financially and become a practitioner. invest at least, this is what I'm taking home, at least 10% of your income. At least 10% of your income. Monthly, not annually, monthly. Right. Akin, a very, very big thank you for coming this evening. And I think it's not going to be the last time that we are going to have you on this platform. We will definitely bring you back again for us to talk a bit more about financial education. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prince, for having me.
Awesome. Right. I was here for my guest and then you bring me, you know, a bro. Akin. Oni ababetri and komo efa financial planning and investment. Need to investment. Kwanya yebefa so a yenso sika kakra na yenya no at least emu 10% ye de besie. O maye ti ase se enye government pension kwa na ese adwene ho. Ese private pension bi o ho no ma private pension scheme bi o a ese yenso ye de ho kohye mu bi. Da bi ukọ wa homegye mu a retirement no aye enjoyment at the amount na nye say bia aban de kakra bi na ode ebe poso account mu no eno kwan na obe depend ewo eso sa enso na o ma yeti ase say ban American so there is this S&P 500 eno no nso no obetimi invest ewo ehonomo eni nti bomodia na hwe kwan ya befa so a sika na wunya no ubetimi SCB. Endini nyina be in control of your debt and your expenses. And so said you'll be financially sound and be able to invest. Ahanomo ena medu ebesi ena numre naimum nyame ya domoa. Coming Wednesday, we are starting a new series on health. Yebeka apomudin ehon semonkwa your well-being or worth. Enunti nyame aye adom yensa aka Dr. Akosua and Abina and every Wednesday biano wamo ede OT Health Talk ede ebe brain. Doc, if you are there, a very good evening and welcome to the show this evening. And can you tell us what we should expect on Wednesdays, especially this coming Wednesday? Dr. Akosua,
Hello, good evening. Medasi Bebre, so inviting me as ambassador. So obviously, you know, I love this show. I really like engaging with the guests. They're very interesting and entertaining. So because of this, obviously now we have our own health talk, and that's going to be every Wednesday. This coming Wednesday, we're meeting with Dr. Kojo Asameni, and he's going to be talking to us about women's health. But it's not just going to be this Wednesday. It's going to be every Wednesday in the month, every last Wednesday in the month, and we're going to have a variety of topics. So whatever you guys want to know, you can comment on the show. You know, you can comment it to TapTap show on the TapTap Thursdays as well. So if you come on every Thursday and you want to know a particular topic, obviously it will get back to us. I'm a general practitioner myself, and I wouldn't say that I have expert knowledge in everything, but the ones that I don't have expert knowledge in, I will invite an expert doctor to come on and join us on the show. So it will be hosted by myself, my sister. The first one is next Wednesday, and we hope that you will really, really be there because we're going to uncover some amazing things about women's health, and we'll take your questions as well. So we really look forward to it.
We are also looking forward to have you. Doc, now see, guess now over next Wednesday. Doctor, your friend is saying?
Kojo Asameni.
Okay. Me TV before into pa. Yo, I was not for Doctor.
Ne brofudi ankasa ya William. Your friend Willie, but or say a friend of Dr. Kojo Asameni. Ti over becheche imba health ni he's very knowledgeable. You can ask him any question you want to know about women's health. In fact, come with all your questions because he'll be ready to answer all of them. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you on Wednesday.
Yo, Wednesday, Dr. Akosua Esiedu, Ofosu Esiedu, one Dr. Kojo Asameni, any Abina, health OT Health Talk at the Ebebro. The same link now they buy and use that same link to join us. Now enumerate so now any health topic say omo edele with call chat room fa wodi eto honomo na omo picking na omo ntimi hwehwe experts na omeka ehon asem eno na every Wednesday bia ye dey Ebebro. Sabri ye be take a quick ad break na if you ad break ne ba pe TapTap Send Focus section. Abusiafo betena dwem Now, any question, suggestion, contribution that you have for TapTap Send and on Odiaba, we will open breakout room now or any problem with your TapTap Send account. Bomodiana kohonomo na yen customer service team no emboa or yen breakout room 1. So, producer, let's go for a quick ad break. When we come back, TapTap Send focus session.
Mr. Mankwa, me office was a niska banier de wieni project no. Esu de bia me office ka mane wo problem.
Enemremu. Na monte TapTap Send nka.
No so ne de.
TapTap Send ye easy, fast and secured way. Ubetimi send this free amanone. Aba Ghana bank account and as a mobile money account. Untia transfer fee via.
Sir, I obey any say.
Chine se wonko App Store na Play Store. On download the TapTap Send app no. Or download ya. Ebebu sanso promo code. Or ma the pet TV shim. Obenya €5, £5, and answer $10 on his first transfer.
And you make kwa friend a catch them.
Tabi minyanwe. Esanse TapTap Send at the good news aba. TapTap Send the gina customers won't or the TapTap Send wallet aba.
I know about any say.
So your customer who you cases here. Ubetimi ako TapTap Send app no create wallet also. And it's a rate in the costra now the Sikako go wallet no. And I say pobetimi atu susun kakra. And tiabre sema opeso send the Sikaba Ghana no. No answer was send the Sikana Bagana. And I say oba o my Ghana mua. What in here you sika e wa wallet no. Tia.
And you said to say you sumo mo Ghana hey no.
Sa pepe. Se see a TapTap Send that trainer shim. Copy mo United Arab Emirates, Netherlands, and Austria. TapTap Send na. Papa no.
This is Lawyer Wisdom of Wismart Solicitors. Join me this and every Friday on OT TV from 8 to 9 p.m. for all your UK immigration matters. I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Yo, abusia for yadamase se muguswa eni ewa ha no mo time with TapTap Send Jumedie and OT and then on OT Media TV. Sabre yadu TapTap Send focus section na Minia Berima David Kofi Eje ebetna dwam na or the TapTap Send focus section no e the actual so sa enso ena or any issue with your TapTap Send account maybe breakout room see just click on breakout room 1 na kohonum yan customer service team ohonuma obebwa na was assisted with all your issues on your TapTap Send account. David, a very good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening. Also, thank you so much, Mr. Akin Awolaja, for making the time for us. Thank you. And for always thank you. As Nakwame said, this is a Q&A session. We have a team of customer service in a breakout room. If you have any questions, you just go to the breakout room and they'll answer it for you. We also have the main floor. If you have any questions, contributions, please feel free to talk. Until it's hi, good evening.
Hello, Mr. Kofi Eje.